We are live now. Got a big show today, Mike.
Oh, my goodness. Chaos already breaking out.
Man. Big show. Big draft day. Draft day inspired show.
Yeah, Woj has already gotten Shams, dude. Woj has already beaten Shams today.
He says, I'm going to show you up today, youngin'. Hey, and we're also going to go ahead and have our draft party. Don't forget that. It's going to be happening later on today. Me and Mike will be there at Pete's Place.
Yes, sir.
Over there by Helotes, man.
Old Town Helotes.
Yeah, we'll be there.
If you know where Flores is, just keep going.
Yeah, we'll be there about 6. Yeah, you'll be there about 6. If you get there early with me and Mike, if you're one of the first 2-3 people to show up, I'll buy you a beer.
Nice.
Yeah, I got you covered.
Happy hour all night over there until 2 a.m. I already got an Uber lined up for it all.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
be
get
an
dropped
Uber
off.
night.
I think I'm going to
be dropped off and I'm going to Uber home.
I'm
And I'm not saying that I'm going to get trashed, but what I'm saying is that if it's more than a 5% chance.
I'm not saying I'm going to get trashed, but there's a 99.9% chance that I might.
I know. Dude, the number of RSVPs went upward again today.
Pete's Place looks like a happening little spot.
People are going to like that place. And you know what? The people who are the regulars are like, oh my God, you're telling people about
our little gym.
Our gem.
Damn you. We're going to have Jefe coming on the show as well. What's up, Gert? What's up, JHNSB? Today's the day, he says. Hi, everyone. What's up, Gert? Yeah, man, today is the day, man. Spurs fans have been waiting for the 2024 NBA draft. Will the team's fortunes turn around? Or will they go ahead and package both picks and surprise everyone, get the number 1 overall pick?
Garrett is in the house. What time is it over there, Garrett?
Man, in the Netherlands, dude.
What time is it right now? It's got to be at least midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, no. 4 p.m.
You think so?
5 p.m.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast here from San Antonio, Texas, home of your San Antonio Spurs and UTSA Roadrunners. But screw the Roadrunners today, man. It's all about the Spurs. It is draft day, baby. The Spurs will be on the clock, I don't know, in about 8 hours or so.
Yeah.
Draft kicks off at 7 p.m. San Antonio time. We're going to have a draft party tonight at 6 o'clock. Lots of chaos already in the NBA. 2 big trades have already happened. How will this affect tonight's draft? Because there's a third trade that's rumored to be going on right now, and it could impact who the Spurs take at number 4. My name is Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. Jefe, the godfather of Spurs media in San Antonio, Jeff Garcia, will be with us at 10:15, so in about 12 minutes or so. We're excited about today's show. Joe, tonight's the party. Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. I was hoping originally 15, 20 people would show up.
Yeah.
RSVP list right now is at 25 with about 20 others going, we'd like to go. Dude, if we get 35, 40, 50 people out there, boom, we stick the landing. We can then go to Pete's Place and say, hey, you want to sponsor us, baby? We brought you thousands of dollars. But here's the thing. Tonight, it's going to be happy hour all night long till 2 a.m. And if you have the kiddos, guess what? You're allowed to take the kids. You got to be out the door by 9, okay? Because it's 21 and older after 9 p.m. Again, Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. I have video of the place.
Let's go ahead and show that.
That I took the other day, showing what it looks like inside of Pete's Place. It's a very nice indoors area. Again, you can have the AC, lots of eye candy from a lot of the UTSA students. I hate to say it, but it's just true. And then the outdoor courtyard area, which is where we're going to be. The big screen out there is where I'm pointing right there. That big screen is where we're going to be partying. We have the tables out there in the courtyard right there. So I'm going to pause it right there. So basically right here is where we're going to hang out right next to the TV as we check to see who the Spurs take at number 4 and at number 8. Will the Spurs move up? Will the Spurs move down? Will the Spurs take 2 players? It's going to be an exciting night, Joe. It's going to be an exciting night. We've been talking about the draft for so long, and now it's here.
It is. And you know what? My biggest thing is, despite everything that's going on with the NBA draft, the big question is, are we going to pick up 950 subscribers while we're there?
While we're there. We're now at what? What's the number that we got?
933
now?
officially.
933 strong, man. 933, not bad at all. Again, happy hour is going to be going on till 2 a.m., man, all the way through. They got $3 peach sangria, $4 dulce vida tequila, and we're going to have $2.75 domestic and $3.75 well all night long, man. Just take $20. You'll be fine.
For the whole night.
You'll be fine for $20. But I'm excited about that. Again, that's going to go on tonight. We're going to get there at 6 o'clock. The draft starts at 7. I'm assuming the Spurs make their first pick around 7:45. And then you've got the second pick, which should come around 8:30 or so. Excited about it. Again, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5 will be on in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah. We got to talk about the trades that are going on in the NBA. We had
some big ones, man. Some huge trades going on.
You know, Woj 1, Sham 0. Okay, because Woj one-upped him this morning. Lots of trades to talk about. The one that was kind of interesting happened last night.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, the Knicks landed Mikal Bridges, and they sent the Nets a boatload of picks. If I'm not mistaken, 5 first-round picks, 4 of their own, and 1 that belonged to another team.
Yeah,
5,
dude.
and it's funny because Stephen A. Smith of First Take was all excited about it. He was like, man, I know it's a huge haul, and people are making fun of the Knicks for sending 5 picks literally down the street from Manhattan to Brooklyn, right? But it reunites 4 members of the Villanova National Championship team. I believe the last one was in 2016 over at NRG Stadium in Houston. And think about that. It reminds me of the Eagles, who keep drafting players from Georgia in the NFL.
Yeah, they do.
But here you have 4 of the stars that won national championships over at Villanova, which is in Philadelphia, not too far away from New York.
Yeah.
And they're reunited, and they're going to try to make a run at it. And Stephen A. Smith on First Take this morning was like, dude, it's just simply trying to gel. These are friends. These are lifelong friends. And they get to play together in the NBA. Mikal Bridges, he's around a 19, 20 point per game type of guy. Shoots about 37% from 3. He's very consistent. He is a very good player, plays good defense. He's also somebody who can pass the ball, can rebound, does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But he's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. And they gave 5 first rounders and a player for him.
I guess the Knicks think that this is going to make them better, and it quite possibly could, because right now, as you look at their lineup that they have Bridges, they have Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. All from Villanova.
You know, and like you said, they're used to, you know, that team chemistry, that dynamic, all played at Villanova, bringing that over to the team with the Knicks. This Knicks team was missing something. They were missing something. They needed some help. And I think they might have gotten some help here. Is that going to translate to them finally going back to the promised land, which has been quite some time? 1999, I believe, is the last time they were there facing the Spurs. I'm thinking that Knicks fans have NBA finals on their mind. Maybe this is what gets it done.
This, Jerry Jones, is how you go all in. Okay, this is how you do it. You bring a star.
Jerry got money.
I guess the Knicks are there saying, look, we don't need to have a superstar. We can have just 2 stars. Because Mikal Bridges is really good. Okay? He's really good. But it's one of those things where they look at Jalen Brunson and they think, well, that's kind of our 1, and maybe the 1A could be Bridges. I guess so. But that was one of the big names in the market, which is why the Spurs don't have much to go on right now when it comes to free agents, when it comes to trade partners, because OG Anunoby might be going back. So it's just so bizarre. And all of this is happening. And meantime, the Spurs are sitting there with 2 first-round draft picks at 4 and 8. And if you thought the Spurs were going to go after Trae Young, that deal for Bridges sealed the deal. It's not going to happen. It killed the deal.
I think we might have picked up another subscriber. Elias says he was going to go back and get his wife, right, to make her subscribe, and then look at Elias' wife here.
What's going on, April?
Thanks, April.
What's going on, Miss Sith?
Yeah.
But if you want to be part of the show, you can drop us a line. You can leave a comment, and we read the best ones out there. I like there was one earlier. I think it was Sam Salinas that says the Houston Rockets already screwing things up.
Yep, this early in the game.
And that is it, because the Houston Rockets also doing a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, I think they have something to the effect of 16 first-round draft picks in the next 6 years after all the things that they're doing, the moving and shaking that they're doing. What's going on right now with the Rockets are looking like they're going after Kevin Durant. And if they're not going after Kevin Durant, they're going to go after Devin Booker. And if you look at it, they pulled a trade with the Brooklyn Nets, and it's so convoluted. It's so confusing. It's like we sent back this pick, we got back this pick, but ultimately the Rockets got the 2025 and 2027 and 2029 first-round draft picks that Phoenix traded to Brooklyn in the Kevin Durant trade. And now they're basically looking over at Phoenix going, you want your future back? You know how Atlanta wants their future back in exchange for Trae Young? They want their trades back. This is like draft day with Kevin Costner. I want my franchise's future back. Houston now has it. It's a swap in 25, the first rounder in 27 and 29. And they're saying, if you want it, give us Durant. Maybe give us Devin Booker. Now, if they do trade Durant for Durant, well, who are they going to send? The rumor is, according to Shams and according to Woj and according to all the big analysts there on social media right now, saying Alperen Sengun would be the one sent over.
That means that Houston's not losing much if they're going to lose him, that caliber of player, and you pick up somebody like Durant.
We pick up Durant, but now you need a center. And if the Rockets are there at 3, still holding on to their pick, they haven't traded it. They get Donovan Clingan at that point.
Yeah.
Assuming that Reece Shea goes 1, assuming that Sarr goes 2. Now they're looking at it going, we can get Sarr or Clingan at 3, which means Reed Shepherd and Stephon Castle are sitting there at 4. Now the Spurs have a big decision to have right there. So the Rockets are impacting potentially what the Spurs are doing. The Rockets are looking at, hey, they went 41-41 last season. You add Durant to that and Clingan.
I like this, man. Thank you, Tex-Mex Frank, by the way. 199 super chat here. He says, good morning, gents. After picks record, Mike yelling, hot to that might be a thing today.
I'll do it. But it's going to be great tonight. The drama, the suspense of it all is going to unfold tonight. We're going to have Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5 in the next few minutes or so to give us his input when it comes to all of this. Again,
what is Phoenix saying? 7. Look at what Sam Salinas says. This is what Phoenix is saying. And like you said, do you believe everything you hear?
No, I don't.
And what does he say they're saying?
Phoenix is saying that they don't have plans to part ways with Durant. I don't believe it. And then it's like yesterday we saw that story about how R.C. Buford and Brian Wright were there saying, hey, we're trying to pull all these trades, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't believe it either.
Oh,
because I don't believe anything that it is draft day. You don't believe anything that anybody's saying. If Brian Wright is saying,
teams have been on the phone all night, Mike.
But if Brian Wright says something, you want to believe him? Maybe, maybe not. If you want to believe Phoenix Suns front office, maybe, maybe not. At the end of the day, it's all poker being played right now.
Oh, yeah.
And they use the media to do this. Now, you see the Brian Windhorses of the world. You see the Wojs of the world, the Shams of the world. They know what's going on because they have intel that goes deep.
This is a money-making business. You think that these teams are going to leak out information for free?
Right.
Come on.
So, I mean, I was looking at the record, 26-15 when Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal played together. But because of injuries, they weren't able to do so. We're going to be monitoring all what's going on.
Oh, man.
Again, the draft party begins at 6 o'clock. The draft itself begins at 7. We're going to have giveaways out there. We're going to give away one of the
rookie, the Wembeyaso cards.
Yes, the Victor Wembanyama Rookie of the Year card.
We have a post that's up right now on my Twitter, on the X, and I put call your shot. So if you want to win one of these coveted Wemby Rookie of the Year 2023-2024 Rookie of the Year cards, all you got to do is call your shot. Who do you think the Spurs are going to get at number 4 and number 8?
Who do you think they're going to get 4? And if they trade back, I think the tiebreaker is going to be who they take at 4.
It will be.
Or should it be 8? Because, well, no, 4 is because they'll probably keep 4.
They're going to keep 4. We'll see what happens with 8. But if you call your shot and you guess correctly, those names were going to be put into a drawing and that we're going to go ahead and have here live. And we're going to bring back the spinning wheel. We'll put the names on there and let fate decide who's going to win the card.
Lots going on right now in the NBA. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at JeffG KENS5SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at JeffG So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
The godfather himself, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5 joins us now. Jeff, it is draft day, baby. How excited are you about tonight?
Man, I am excited to see how this all shakes out. Finally lifting the clouds from who's going 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. A very, very gray area draft. I'm excited, and I think Spurs fans are excited too. Who will be possibly the new members of the Spurs? That's the Spurs trade the picks.
We've had lots of things happening today, Jeff. You have the NBA draft coming up tonight. Spurs fans are very excited, but beyond that, a lot of trades being made, a lot of deals trying to get done behind the scenes ahead of the draft.
Yeah. The Knicks thing, was a big fan of that. I think they just gave up way too much for the kid.
I know. I mean, if you were to say Mikal Bridges, good player, right?
Yeah,
he's a top 50, top 60 player. But if you're giving up 5 first-rounders and players for him, what is Trae Young worth? Basically, it shut the door on that whole conversation, because if the Spurs were going to offer what was offered to Brooklyn, right? If you offer 5 first-rounders and a couple of players, I might have gone along with that for Trae Young. But if that's what he's worth, Trae Young is now worth 7.
Oh, yeah. This is just really getting ridiculous now.
Yeah.
This reminds me of, remember back in the day, I think Joe will remember this too, where these massive deals, contracts are given out to like these no-name centers.
Oh, God, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I had that run where it was just like, what? Like, that's the value for big guy coming off the bench now. But, hey, look, you know what? That's New York's problem, and that's Brooklyn's issue now. So we'll see how they sort it out. We're just worried about the Spurs.
You talk about paying for a used car. You overpaid for a used car, man. You got had, but they had to have it. The Knicks had to have it. Are you happy for the Knicks, Jeff?
I'm happy for the Knicks in the sense of I appreciate that they're trying to win now, and I get that. But you just mortgage the future if it doesn't work out. You basically put themselves in the Phoenix situation. And what was formerly the Brooklyn situation, not anymore.
And the Rockets making moves, as one of our listeners said, already ruining things for the Spurs.
Did they?
Getting the 25, 27, and 29 picks of the Phoenix Suns via Brooklyn with a trade with Brooklyn. They gave up a swap in 2025. So Brooklyn's going to receive a swap from Houston in 2025, Houston's 2026 pick, and the least favorable first-round pick in 2029. So Houston sitting there with the Suns' future, the 25 pick, the 27 pick, and the 29 pick. And they have Alperen Şengün. And the belief is, according to Bleacher Report, according to SI, according to ESPN, that they're going to try to make a play for Kevin Durant. And they're going to be able to say, hey, look, not only do we have draft capital of our own, but we have your draft capital that we'd be willing to potentially give it back. And the idea is if Şengün gets shipped out this week, today, then that means the Rockets will either take Alex Sarr or they'll take Donovan Clingan at 3, which pushes Reed Shepherd back down. And now the Spurs are sitting there at 4 going, Stephon Castle, Reed Shepherd, Stephon Castle. Which one do we take?
Choose your fighter. Who's the better of the two players?
Right, because that has to be the choice at that point, right? So if in that situation, okay, so Jeff, if I had to tell you that there's no Rockets trade tonight, Who do the Spurs take? And if there is a Rockets trade, who do the Spurs take?
Man, you know what? Reed Shepherd would open up that spacing. And I think it's all about spacing when you got Victor Wembanyama. Man, if Shepherd's on the board, I might take him.
Yeah,
I might take him.
Reed Shepherd from Kentucky. I mean, just a sharpshooter. Guy averaged 12.5 points per game, 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds. Shot 54% from the field, but 52% from three-point land. You know, I like effective field goal shooting percentage.
Oh God, here we go, Jeff.
The guy was elite. He was elite in an effective field goal shooting percentage. And on top of it all, even though he's short, 6'3", short by NBA standards, 2.5 steals per game. On top of that, he jumps through the gym, had the highest vertical leap, max vertical leap in the entire combine. Just standing straight forward, just standing and going straight up, 37 inches.
Man.
A running start, 44.5 inches. He could probably dunk it over the backboard if he wanted to.
Yeah,
and he's 6'3" doing this. As much as I love Stephon Castle, the Spurs got Reed Shepherd. I'd still be a happy guy.
What does this team need, Jeff? They need bucket getters, man. And does Shepherd go ahead and fill that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They need shooters. They need spacing. They need a little bit of everything outside of the 5 spot. But Shepherd would just address that. I mean, I think Jimenez, correct me if I'm wrong, he might be the projected best point guard available now.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to describe Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd, very much like Stephon Castle, is basically a combo guard. I mean, he can play point, but really you want Reed Shepherd for his shooting more than anything else. And it's, can he develop into a traditional point guard? Can he be somebody beyond just a shooter? You know, because you need to have the handles and whatnot. Stephon Castle has said in the past that he wants to play point guard in the NBA. It's a very interesting thing. And it almost feels like Houston Rockets kind of control the Spurs' destiny when it comes to this. I don't like that. But at the same time, if it drops Reed Shepherd down, 52% from 3, you can't fake that, because he was a volume shooter in college at Kentucky, and he played for a Kentucky program that produces legit NBA shooters. It produces legit NBA players. We have one of them in Keldon Johnson, but back in the day, the Devin Bookers of the world and whatnot. I mean, the guy can shoot. And dude, okay, first of all, I'm looking at his effective field goal shooting percentage.
Good Lord.
Okay, if you are a guard who shoots beyond 55%, you're considered to be pretty good. 60%, you're considered to be elite. 60% is elite. His college effective field goal shooting percentage was 67.9.
Yeah, it's you look at his shot chart from last season in college. I mean, it is just pick a spot, he's deadly. That's pretty much sums it up. Yeah, that's it.
He's a flamethrower. And you look at it, 67.9. So people go like, well, what the hell does that mean? It basically means for every 100 shots that he attempts, he's making about 136 points. Think about that. If he was only shooting 2-pointers like DeMar DeRozan back in the day, and DeMar DeRozan only made half of them, that's 100 points on 100 shots. The guy's making 136 points for every 100 shot attempts that he makes. Houston Rockets, do me a favor. Go ahead and go get your guy. Go get Durant. Go get Klingon. I'd be more than happy with Reed Shepherd. I just didn't think he'd be there.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to do something fun here too. So what we're going to do, Jeff, with you and with Mike, we're going to act like the draft is taking place right now. So I'm going to go ahead and you're going to give us, both y'all are going to give us who do you predict the Spurs are going to get at number 4? Since Jeff is the guest, I'm going to go ahead and play the little video right now. And then when we come back, Jeff's going to give us who the Spurs are going to pick at that number 4 spot. All right?
All right.
Here we go.
Okay.
Let's do it. Getting dramatic here, Joe.
Of course.
The pick is in with a 4th pick in the 2024 NBA draft. According to Jeff Garcia, the San Antonio Spurs select
Stephon Castle.
Oh,
Stephon Castle, 6'6", UConn guard. Can guard 1, 2, and 3. Has handles. What do you like about Stephon Castle? I know that I saw your Locked On Spurs episode yesterday that you had in the studio at Ken's 5 and then also with Pleasure. By the way, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify. By the way, I was looking at your numbers, dude. Your subscription numbers have gone through the roof. Congratulations to you.
That. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations to you. What do you like about Stephon Castle? Because I know that you've examined some tape of him and you've seen some games of him. How does he fit with the Spurs? What do you like about him, and what is something that causes a little bit of concern?
What I like, the defensive ability. I think the Spurs definitely can use that as well. Also, too, I think he's ready-made physically. He doesn't need time to add. I mean, obviously he's going to grow into his body, but I mean, he's ready to go right now. I think the shot will come with him, and that's my concern is the outside shooting. However, yesterday during the NBA draft media session, he spoke to that, and he said that it's not a concern. That it's not a matter of mechanics. Like he has to rebuild his shot. It just tweaks. So he's very confident about that. I also think in finding answers the Spurs need for a big guard. Y'all know this from the Sohan experience to Malachi for a bit to Josh Primo. They want a big guard, and he solves that. And with the Spurs in rebuild mode, you got to have that floor general. He did speak the fact that he can be a floor leader. And I like that. The kid has a lot of upside. But for me, guys, it's the defense. I think you need defensive stoppers on that outside. I mean, I believe he gets comps to, well, he personally thinks he has a ceiling of SGA. Well, that remains to be seen. We'll see if he can do that. That's a high comp for himself. But overall, I think he fits, dresses a need, get yourself a defensive guard. He can get to the rim. Physically, he's ready. You take him.
Now, according to The Ringer, by the way, Kevin O'Connor has their big board, has Stephon Castle as the third-rated player in the draft. As far as who he looks like or his comparison, according to The Ringer, they have Andre Iguodala. I don't mind that. I mean, Iggy was a good player. Was he ever a star? No, but he was a high-level complementary player. He was a high-level player. I like Stephon Castle because Castle can do a little bit of everything. He's not the best shooter in the world, but he actually runs the break very well, can finish drives. He throws it down. Averaged 11 points per game in college, his rookie season at UConn, 4.7 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 47% from the field, which means he's good at 2-pointers, but only 27% from 3, shot 76% from the free throw line. But the thing is, he's a lockdown guy on the 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, Tavares asked a good question here, Jeff. He says, if the Spurs take 2 guards in this draft, who is going to be moved?
Oh, I have the answer for that one in my eyes.
Yeah, answer that, Jimenez.
Eventually, it would be Malachi and Blake, the first-round draft picks from 2 years ago. I mean, those would be the guys that would be most likely to be shipped out because you can only have so many guards on the team, right? And you're going to be fighting for minutes, and eventually you're going to want to see what they have. And Stephon Castle, I'm sorry, if the Spurs are going to take Stephon Castle number 4 overall or Reed Shepherd number 4 overall, they're going to play them.
Yeah.
Beyond the number 22, Malachi Branham, number 25, Blake Wesley, they're going to have to play them.
Well, guess what?
Because they're paying them as well.
Yeah. Guess what now? It's time for Mike's turn. You're going to be on the clock, sir. So we're going to play the video right now. And you're going to give us who you think the Spurs are going to select at that number 4 spot.
Let's do it.
You're on the clock.
And with the 4th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select. I never thought I'd say this. But the Spurs are going to select Reed Shepherd.
Oh,
because I believe in the Houston Rockets. Can the Rockets do us this favor? Don't get me wrong. Stephon Castle was my favorite college player last year. He was. If Reed Shepherd was 6'6", it would be a no-brainer. He'd be the number 1 pick in the draft, right? But I don't think the Spurs are going to be able to look at that shooting percentage and go, why would they say no to that, right? I mean, what's the worst-case scenario? He's J.J. Redick? I'll take it. Yeah, J.J. Redick was a 15-point per game kind of guy. I would take it in a heartbeat. I think that Reed Shepherd, because of his shooting, will be a good player in the NBA. Maybe not great. May not be an all-star, but I think he'd be pretty good. And I know Stephon Castle, because of what he brings defensively, is going to be a good player. Can they turn him into a Tyrese Maxey? Can they turn Stephon Castle into a Kawhi Leonard? That is what is yet to be seen. Now, as far as comparisons, by the way, guess who the Ringer has as their number one overall player on the big board, according to Kevin O'Connor? They have Reed Shepherd. They have Reed Shepherd, and he says that he's a hybrid of Steve Nash and Derek White. Exceptional shooter and gritty defender who plays bigger than his body, according to Kevin O'Connor of the Ringer. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, is this a win-win situation for the Spurs?
It is.
If it's Castle or is it really Reed, it's still win-win.
I think so too. Now the question's going to be: do the Spurs hold on to that pick at number 8? Do they trade down? I don't see the Spurs trading up in this draft, but that 8 pick right there, what do they do with that? And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear, we see the Spurs on the clock and then we hear a trade. Spurs are falling back down to number 13 or 14. I can see that happening. Okay, because there's certain players on here that are going to be projects around 8 to 15. So if we were by the way, Joe, you didn't give us your pick.
I didn't give you my pick, but I will give you my pick at number 4 if you want me to.
Let's hear it.
All right, here we go.
With the 4th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, your San Antonio Spurs select
and quite a surprise, the San Antonio Spurs are going to select, in my opinion, Matas Buzelis.
I like it. I like going against the grain, man. Buzelis, who I don't know if you saw the show yesterday, but he was talking to Sham Charania of
I saw that.
Sham Charania of the Athletic, and he was like, I want to play him one-on-one. I want to play Restart Shea one-on-one. He's been avoiding me. Why doesn't he want to be in the gym with me? I'm going to be the next Paul George. Okay, so Buzelis, who according to the Ringer's big board is the 4th best player, and he has shades of Franz Wagner and Lamar Odom, according to Kevin O'Connor of the Ringer. Joe, why do you like Buzelis so much? Is it because he has got that dog in him?
He got that dog in him, for one. The other thing is, I just like his size, man. I think he fits in well with the San Antonio Spurs crew, and he has a blend of size and his shooting ability. We need both, So he had an off shooting season with the G League Ignite. Not going to lie there. But the thing is, when you look at the mechanics behind his shot, he has that fluid shot.
Yeah.
Dude. He has that motion. It's not a broken shot. That's something you can definitely work with.
What I like is that when he drives in, slashes, and dunks it, the ball not only goes through the hoop, but it goes and hits the ground automatically with force. He throws it down. We have a $10 super chat coming on in.
And we have a new subscriber. Memo.
We have a super chat there from Sam Salinas. He says, quote, $10. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Says, I think Houston will do something, and we will get Shepherd at 4. With the 8th, I'm going with Dalton Connect, Market. No, this isn't a bribe for that card. Talking about the Wemby card. We've got 2 to give away, by the way.
Oh, God.
But, Buzelis is interesting. We do have a need for a 3, and he brings size. He brings size at 6'9", 6'10", big wingspan of almost 7 feet, 19 years old. Again, Franz Wagner, Lamar Odom. He even mentioned Franz Wagner. He even says, I got shades of Franz Wagner. He admitted it. So when you heard Jeff, that Buzelis was actively trying to get a one-on-one session with Resar Shea, what were your thoughts?
I like it. I like that shows a lot of dog in him. I can appreciate that. I think this first team can use a little bit more dog in their blood and their DNA. I appreciate that as well. And yeah, Joe, you took my backup pick. That was like, it wasn't Casa, it was going to be Buzelis. But I was under the operation heading into the 4th pick that the usual suspects are gone off the board. Sarr, Reed, and Risha Shea.
Yeah,
that was our operating. I didn't know we just willy-nilly picked somebody.
No, I never got your opinion, by the way, because we talk about this one-on-one action.
Yeah,
Stephon Castle, Devin Carter at the Rock. What were your thoughts when you heard of that? Those two had a joint workout together.
Oh, not surprising at all. When Malachi Branham was selected a couple years ago, he told me that he experienced the same thing with the workout with the Spurs, that he was going up against in that workout top 5 projected players. So not surprising at all that the Spurs did that to Malachi. And I think that's just their DNA. The Spurs, when it comes to workouts, they want to see how these players compete against one another, projected players. Malachi even told me, he goes, that really brought out the best in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said for him, he goes, I was projected to, obviously, and it happened, go late first round. He said, but I upped my game when I was going up against some of the top projected players in the Spurs workout. So
That's what I'm saying. Right, Jeff? Yeah. At the end of the day, don't you think that these top prospects going at each other in front of an audience, as far as the cameras and whatnot on these NBA teams, because they have the cameras on the court and whatnot, doesn't it help their draft capital go up if they have a good one-on-one session with each other?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it helped Malachi. I mean, that's exactly what he told me. He said it helped him bring out the best of him in the Spurs workout. So kudos to the Spurs.
Now at number 8, it's going to be difficult to see.
Yeah, but we're going to give our picks at number 8. I got to do the video.
Oh, well, but real fast before we go into that, Jeff, where are you watching the draft, by the way?
I'll be at the media event. So I'll be with fellow media in San Antonio and nationwide later on at the Spurs practice facility.
Now, Tim Gonzalez has a question for us on our YouTube stream, asking the question, what about the 35th pick? Do we keep it or trade it? What do you expect for the Spurs when it comes to the second round? Because the Spurs have 2 second rounders.
Pick? That's a good question. There is talent in the second round. I mean, it's not second round. It's not looked at kind of like with a frown anymore.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, that's a good one. I could go either way. If they trade it, fine. If they draft somebody, fine. But I just think whoever they draft in the second round, it likely either be a drafted stash or Austin bound.
I mean, number 35, that's basically a first rounder. It's just a couple of picks off.
Yeah.
Last year, the Spurs got City Sissoko, and he balled out. I mean, I think he was like 44 or something like that. Goes to the G League. We wouldn't be surprised if he's with the varsity squad hanging with the San Antonio Spurs this upcoming season. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5. Subscribe to him on Locked On Spurs podcast on YouTube, also on Spotify. You can also follow him on Twitter and on Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone, and then all his stories at KENS5.com. The number 8 pick, Jeff. It could be all over the place, but let's get Jeff's
take. On the clock.
He's on the clock. Stand by for the stinger. Stand by for the stinger.
Okay.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the 5-time champion San Antonio Spurs select.
Oh my God. Can I use Joe's pick? Can I go with Bucelis if he's there?
I don't mind it. If you believe that he's going to be there, I don't mind it.
Yeah, if he's on the board, I want the Spurs to get Bucelis. Absolutely. I'm totally right now. He's a dog. I think he is a good defensive wing player that the Spurs can definitely use. Long, athletic. I really like the kid. I think his upside is tremendous. And hey, another international player-ish. I know he grew up in Chicago, but nevertheless, hey, I think he fits well with the Spurs' need. And that's the thing about the Spurs this upcoming season is they need help almost everywhere except the number 5 spot. That's it. You say they're going to draft a guard, perfect. A point guard, perfect. A swing guy, swing big, like a Bucelis at 4, perfect. So either way, the Spurs can't go wrong with 4 and 8. So I'll go with Bucelis if he's on the board.
All right, so that means you're up next, Mike.
Okay, no problem.
You ready? Here we go, man. So the Mike Jimenez is on the clock now. The San Antonio Spurs with the 8th pick.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, your 5-time champion San Antonio Spurs select Tijani Salon.
No,
from France.
Oh,
you got to have a French connection there for Wemby, baby.
Yeah.
And again, Kevin O'Connor from the Ringer has oftentimes come out and said that's the guy who's going to be the best player 4 or 5 years from now. That he has the highest ceiling of all these players. And Saloon going in there, French, knows Wemby, has played in the same league as Wemby, has gone up, knows Parker, all that stuff. I wouldn't doubt it. I think that he's done well enough in the last couple of months of his career in France. I think the French connection's made.
I don't mind it. I'm going to say you kind of took me aback there, but there was a reason for that. But let me go ahead and give you my pick real quick. Okay. So here we go. All right. I'm on the clock.
Joe's on the clock.
Thinking who are the Spurs going to get at the 8th spot?
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs and Brian Wright select
Saloon. That's who I had too at number 8. And the reason behind it is that he's a stellar shooter, man. And he's got length. He's 6'9". I think going ahead and pairing him out there on the court with Wemby is going to be a great thing for the San Antonio Spurs. He's got length. He can shoot the ball. That's something that the Spurs can definitely work with. He's going to help space the floor. And he's going to play that maybe that small forward position, that the Spurs sorely need some help with. And not only that, but when you look at it, he's familiar with Victor Wembanyama, and both their sisters have played in the FIBA circuit together. So it's bringing that family connection, that dynamic to the San Antonio Spurs team. And I think pairing him with Wemby, that's going to be a great duo right there.
I think it's the intangibles.
Yeah,
it's
man.
the intangibles.
Can I ask something real fast though?
Yes.
If mocks and scoutings and all this stuff are projecting Saloon to be a player that's one of the best ones seasons from now, can the Spurs afford that right now if they're trying to win sooner than later?
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think the thing is that if you have a player like Reed Shepherd or Stephon Castle that you know is going to produce on day one, you might swing for the fences at 8, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the mock drafts, not the mock drafts, the actual drafts, this is considered to be one of the weaker ones, right? But there are some who say that this is actually an intriguing one because you might get good pieces. But if you look back at the weak drafts from like 10 years ago, guess who was in there? Giannis at 15. So the one draft where everyone says was super ass weak in the lottery had Giannis in there, and Giannis was not Giannis until years later, right? Now, according to DraftKings, right now I'm looking at their odds. DraftKings has at plus 100, basically 1-to-1 odds, Stephon Castle going to the Spurs at number 4. They have Reed Shepherd at 4.5-to-1 odds, Donovan Clingan at 5-to-1 odds, and Matas Buzelis at 6-to-1. We never talked about Clingan being with the Spurs.
Never, man.
Getting a 7-2 center to come hang out with Wemby down low. Do they need him? No, because they already have Wemby down low. They have Sohan, right? But man, if the Spurs swung for the fences and went for Clingan at 4, shades of Rudy Gobert, Jeff, I wouldn't hate it, man. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't understand it, but I wouldn't hate it either.
Man, if Clingan falls to the Spurs at 8, what does that do to Wemby? What does that do to Clingan? He's not a 4. We know that. Wemby definitely thrives at the 5 spot. He could do the 4, but we saw what last year produced. That'd be my major concern is if Wemby gets displaced or if Clingan doesn't reach his capability and have to learn a new position all over again. Now, and I wouldn't hate it. That'd be a 7'4" and a 7'3" monster.
Yeah. Now, according to the Rangers big board, Donovan Clingan is actually the second highest rated player on the draft. He played 2 seasons at UConn, described as having shades of Marc Gasol and Rudy Gobert, 13 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, has a wingspan of 7'7". He is 7'2". He's 20 years old. And if you have a 7'2" guy who plays like Rudy Gobert, Marc Gasol, hanging along with Wemby down low, and Sohan patrolling people, maybe Sohan goes and plays 3. They try to. They've already tried him at point guard. Let's move him to the 3. And if you have a defensive presence of that, it reminds me of Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns. You have Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson. It reminds me of what they did and defensively to shut people down, because what's the problem with the Spurs? Wemby goes out of the game. They played well
Yeah.
defensively when he's there,
Mhm.
but he plays 30 minutes a game, and the 18 minutes that he's not there, what happens? The
Mhm.
defense crumbles. And if you
Yeah.
have a Klingon down there, 7-2 patrolling the paint, it might stop that from happening. It might stop the hemorrhaging.
Yeah. Hey, you know who my wild card pick at 8 is?
Who is it?
Cody Williams.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And
Cody
you,
Williams is my wild card pick at number 8.
and you actually have someone who agrees with you on that, because I'm taking a look at the
Mhm.
mock drafts. The mock drafts that have come out today, there is one today that says Cody Williams going to the Spurs at number 8. And
Yeah.
and you know what? There's something to be said about the corporate knowledge, because his brother Jalen Williams plays for Oklahoma City. Do you think that helps, Jeff, that he has a brother who's been successful right out of the gate in the NBA?
Oh, yeah, pedigree. Yeah, that he has that pedigree. He did say during the media session yesterday that he has not beaten his brother in one-on-one ever, and that he hasn't played his brother in quite some time. But that when somebody asked him, like, well, why do you always get beat by your brother? He goes like, well, because he's in the NBA and I wasn't at the time.
Mhm.
So, but nevertheless, he can finish at the rim. This guy, he's long. That's one of his best attributes heading into the draft. It's just his ability to finish at the rim. In fact, he says that he honed that skill, finishing at the rim, in preparation of the NBA by imagining Wemby defending him at the rim.
That's amazing.
So he's taken that step, and long, lengthy, can really create space. I like, if the Spurs were to get Williams at 8, I would not be mad at all.
Look at JHNSB. He says the Spurs passed on Williams' brother for Sohan.
That's true. Yes, he got picked a
Well,
few
this
picks
is the
later.
time to make up for it then.
Yeah, Cody Williams, 6'8", 185. By the way, Yahoo Sports released their final mock draft this morning, and they have the Spurs picking Cody Williams at number 8. I wouldn't mind it. If you look at the Ringers big board, I like their big board. It's pretty easy to understand. But Cody Williams is considered to be their 15th best prospect, and they compare him to Jalen Rose, a dynamic finisher and a big playmaker. He's only 19 years old, wingspan of over 7 feet, 6'7", 6'8". You could do worse.
Yeah,
you could do worse.
And
I think that the Spurs going at 4 would be like, you know what? We got to get somebody who can play today. That's Reed Shepherd. That's Donovan Klingon. That is a player like that, Stephon Castle. At number 8, stash him. Just somebody who might be it. Because we might hear a name like Jacoby Walter might be a name. Even though he's considered to be the 18th best prospect, according to the Ringer, freshman out of Baylor, who's considered to be like a Contavious Caldwell-Pope kind of guy. That's somebody that has done very well in workouts, apparently, reportedly. And I wouldn't doubt that. Now, we were talking about DraftKings and who they think or who the odds of someone being picked at certain levels. Stephon Castle again. It's changed. It's changed.
Mm-hmm.
We have a change in the DraftKings. Something's going on here. I refreshed. Stephon Castle's odds are at now plus 105. It was plus 100, so it's going backwards a little bit. Reed Shepherd was at plus 450. It's gone backwards a little bit. The one that's moving up is Donovan Klingon.
That some drafts have him at number 1.
Yeah. That's the belief that Atlanta is actually seriously considering him. Now at the number 8 pick, according to DraftKings, the favorite right now at plus 300, 3-1 odds, Devin Carter, point guard out of Providence. Tajani Saloon, number 4 at 4-1 odds. Rob Dillingham, number 3 at 5.5-1 odds. And then they have Dalton Connect at 9-1. Somewhere down on the bottom at 11-1, you have Nikola Topic, and at 12-1, Cody Williams. Hey, you get 12-1 on your money, Jeff. 12-1, baby.
Well, I actually have a post on this on the KENS 5 that opened up today's story for the day, and BetMGM has the Spurs selecting Carter at 8 and Castle at 4, and the odds, at least according to BetMGM, was pretty interesting. They have BetMGM has Castle with plus 150 odds.
Wow.
That the Spurs will take them at number 4, and I have Castle with, hang on, I get it here for you, with odds of going at number 8 with, Castle with plus 150, excuse me, right. And Carter with plus 250 odds at landing in San Antonio at number 8.
I like some of those odds. Now, Haydee reaches out to us on our YouTube stream, says, what about a trade for the number 1 overall pick to get Sarr? Packaging the 4 and 8. Would you do
Sarr?
it? Yeah. Or for Reece Arche, or just to move up to number 1.
I would do it, but I wouldn't do it for Sarr, though.
Yeah, Sarr, I don't know. There's something about him. He doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
He reminds me of a taller Jalen, the big dude in Detroit. Was the guy's
Andre Drummond back in the day.
No. The big kid in Detroit, rookie last year. Jalen Duren.
Oh, Jalen Duren. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I can see that. See that. Jeff, what are you working on today, my man? How can we follow you? I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to keep you longer than you should, but what are you working on today before we let you go?
And not a problem. Yeah. So if you go to my KENS.com/Spurs or on Twitter at X at Jeff G Spurs Zone, the odds as mentioned, what BetMGM has for the Spurs picking at number 4. You already know that. But we have coming up Locked On Spurs with Jack Thompson. We're going to give out our final picks for the Spurs at number 4 and number 8.
Nice.
And we finally addressed the second round. So we get you prepped for the second round for the Spurs tomorrow. By the way, we all agree. The only reason, do you think a big reason why the NBA is doing 2 rounds, second round separately, because of Bronny?
Right? True enough. Spurs at number the 35th pick select Bronny James.
Right? I don't know where now. It's separate days.
Yeah.
Where to go, Bronny? So we have a lot of stuff. As mentioned, I will be part of the media contingency at the Spurs practice facility tonight, talking with Brian Wright after the picks are in. So I look forward to that. And got so much more stuff. Slim chance, but there's still a chance that I could possibly be on TV today at KENS 5.
Very
TV.
nice.
Maybe.
Just waiting for
Nice.
waiting for confirmation. We gotta see if they have enough camera people. That's
And
You know what I think you should do? A suggestion for you tonight, Jeff. After, I know you're going to be a busy guy tonight looking at what the Spurs are going to be doing, but you should give us a reaction of what you're thinking about the Spurs 4th and 8th pick and record it while you're there at the Rock and then post it after you get back home or something.
Idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Instant reaction, my
Instant
man.
reaction from Jeff. That'd be
Well,
great.
that instant reaction will likely be on Locked On NBA today.
Okay.
So,
But it'd be cool for you to get a reaction and just post it on the X for the peeps.
Yeah. If anything, I think I'll post it on the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. I think that's
there you go. It's just short. Hey, I like it.
I'm hoping for the chaos. That is Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. My man, I'm going to have an old-fashioned in your honor tonight. Again, we're having our draft party at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. Jeff, thank you for being on, my man. Thank you for the analysis and all that you do for Spurs coverage, and congratulations on Locked On Spurs. It is blowing up.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mike. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, my man. Don Harris of News 4 San Antonio just tweeted out a couple minutes ago. Says, quote, in 35 years of covering the Spurs, I have rarely nailed the draft prediction. The Spurs have been so unpredictable. So here it goes, his prediction. Quote, at 4, they take Castle unless the Rockets pull off a big trade and Shepherd is left on the board. Or if Atlanta pulls a surprise and Reece Arche is there, then they'll take Reece Arche. At 8, I like Devin Carter. Seems like a 10-year solid play there. But I also love Jacoby Walter, and my sleeper pick is Cody Williams.
I would not be mad with Cody Williams, man.
I wouldn't. I mean, there's something about the pedigree. There really is. I mean, we see this. If one brother is good, the other brother typically is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay. The Spurs have a player that has a brother in the league. Trey Jones and Tyus Jones. We've seen this before. Jacoby Walter, though, out of Baylor. The reports out there is that he's lighting it up in workouts.
Yeah,
and I know it's a workout, and he played well in college. But that's the funny thing about this whole process is that we've said that beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but the fact of the matter is some guys are doing well in workouts and others are not. Guess who's not doing well in workouts? Alex Sarr is apparently not doing well in workouts, but he's projected to be a top 2 pick. What if he falls? What if he's there at 4? Because If you're not working out well, and you're only working out for a handful of teams, he could be the guy that takes a tumble.
Maybe Sarr is injured and he's just not saying it because he doesn't want his draft stock to drop.
Exactly. Reed Shepard apparently is doing well in workouts. Jacoby Walter. Devin Carter is impressing people because they're like, man, that guy is smart. He played college for 3 years. He played in a pro-style defense, a pro-style offense.
It shows.
He likes to rebound. If the Spurs got Devin Carter at 8, then you know that they're trying to get players to play right now. But what does that mean for the Spurs that exists right now? People are asking me right now on the YouTube stream, well, what about Sidi Sissoko? He balled out in Austin. Well, he'll have to fight for his position still. Because if you have a first-round draft pick who's getting first-round money, who got picked at number 4 or got picked at number 8, they're going to take more importance and precedence than the guy that was drafted in the mid-40s last season.
Check this out, Mike. We're international now, man. The show's gone international because
Miles, my man.
We got not only Gert from the Netherlands, we have other people listening to various parts of the world, and now we have somebody listening to us from the UK. Miles.
Very nice. Miles, welcome to the show. It's a high grade show. Listening from the UK. Call in my shot for the Wemby card, and I'm going with Castle at 4 and Shepard at 8. Thanks. Dude, if we get Shepard at 8, I will take off my shirt, and take off my Spurs jersey, and run through Pete's Place in Old Town.
Wear your Spurs jersey with no shirt, no undershirt,
no shirt, just spare tire and all running through the bar.
Man.
But thank you so much for being part of this show, man. I really, really appreciate it. There is going to be a player that falls. Reece Arshea is the consensus number 1 guy, but then you hear the workouts. You hear the fact that in the combine, he had a vertical leap of 25 inches. He had a running max vertical of 32, which for an NBA player, especially one going number 1 overall, is not it, man. And on top of that, small hands, super small hands. But if he falls to the Spurs at 4, I guess I'd be delighted.
Look at this. Tavares is saying clutch points has the Spurs taking Klingon.
Dude, that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be fun to watch. Now, the question is, do you take Klingon if Reed Shepard's still on the board? How do you say no to Reed Shepard? Dude, what's my favorite field goal? My favorite stat, effective field goal percentage. The guy has 67% field goal percentage, effective field goal, 67.9.
What did we talk about earlier? I think it was in last week or this week. The stock of Dillingham, Dilly falling down the draft.
Well, that's what happens when you can't lie about your size. All the players do this. College football, college basketball, they do this. They go, oh, well, this guy is really 6'3", 6'4". And then they go to the combine where everyone's being measured. They take off their shoes and you realize the guy's 6 foot. Oh, he's because they said he was what, 6'2", 6'3", 180. And what was he? He was 6 foot 160. People are going to look at that, and that's going to be a thing because, he might light it up and might be a bucket. John Dyer was on our show last week talking about how much he loves Dilly, and I do too.
Dilly.
But a defensive liability if everyone that you're trying to guard is 6 to 8 inches taller than you.
What's going on with Trey Jones? Spurs fans feel a certain way about Trey because they're like, oh, he's not an elite point guard. He's undersized. He gets burned on defense. What do you think is going to happen at 6 foot?
Trey Jones is a very, very good backup point guard.
Yeah, he is. No lies detected there.
Because if you were to say that Trey Jones was going to be the backup for a playoff team, like the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Dallas Mavericks, I can see it. He's a competent player. He's a very good player.
Solid
He's going to play 10, 12 years in the NBA, make a lot of money, and so is his brother.
But he's not that star, bro.
But he's not the star, dude. He is not the star. And you need star talent at the point guard position to win the NBA. All of this, it's positionless basketball is bullcrap, dude. It's bullcrap because all I saw was what? Derek White and Jaylen Brown. I saw Kyrie and Luka Doncic. Jamal Murray. You see all the good teams have a very solid point guard.
Look at Gert. If we get 2 point guards, Trey.
That is true. Let's give some love to MCS General Contracting, the Diamond Hard Concrete.
Yeah. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and get that diamond hard concrete in your life, make sure you go and reach out to our boy Christopher Leha with MCS General Contracting. If you want it done right the first time, you got to have it done by MCS. They went ahead and did a slab and a little a walkway for Mike over at his home. And Mike can attest to the quality of work that MCS General Contracting will do for you and your home or your business. So make sure you go ahead and give them a call. Oh, here's Mike. They caught you, Mike.
Got the scruff growing back again.
Oh, not again, man. You're going to have to shave that, dude. You look better clean shaven, man. But you said the ladies like the scruff.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, man. All my guy friends are like, shave that off. My family's like, shave that off. But the ladies, they kind of like it a little bit.
What does Pledge say?
Pledge makes fun of me because he's like, I'm not used to this.
He's not used to the scruff.
I'm not. Party tonight over at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. I can't tell you how much fun that place is, man, because we were talking about all the different places that we can have it. And in a perfect world, we would have been over at the Rocket La Cantera, right? But I think it's going to be a madhouse over there.
Logistically, it's hard for all of us to sit together because you really can't save space. And you're out in the open lawn. You know, it's not like you have tables or anything.
Right. There's no tables. And getting a drink is a little bit difficult because they have a bar there, but they only have like 2 locations for that bar. And here, this is a look at Pete's Place in Helotes. I took this video last week on a Tuesday. It gets crowded, man. There's a lot of people that go there. Wednesdays, apparently, they're slow night. But, I mean, dude, we're bringing 40, 50 people out there. I think we're going to get about 35, 40 people, Joe.
That'd be nice if we did.
All said and done.
I got to go ahead and send the address, the Addy, to our boy, Brandon Medina. He might make an appearance as well.
Very nice. Basically, if you know where Flores Country Store is, it's on the same street. Just go down another half mile, and it's on the left. It's tucked in, okay? So there's about 9 or 10 businesses that are there, including one brewery and another bar, but it's tucked in. Just listen for the music. Look for the lights, listen for the music. You'll find it.
Yeah, and I was going to give a shout out here, too, because our friends of the show here that we have, let me go ahead and get this ready. Give me a second. I got to get it ready. Friends of the show that we have here and Rudy Campos Jr. and what they're doing over there with Sweep the League is they're going to be doing a draft show as well, starting around 6 o'clock, same time that we're going out there. But the cool thing about them is that they're going to be doing this draft show that they have, and they're going to be going on, I think, around 6 o'clock our time. So they're going to have our friend as well, you know, Benjamin Bornstein is what we call him. He's known as the Boomstein.
Oh, yeah.
And he's with Project Spurs. And he's going to be out there with Rudy, you know, Sweep the League and whatnot, doing their thing tonight. So make sure you go ahead and give them some love. And like we said, I mean, anytime anybody comes out and, you know, creates content overall, it helps everybody grow. So make sure you go and follow Rudy and Sweep the League, and make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's at Sweep the League TV, and, you know, give him some love too. And if you're at the Pete's Place with us, you know, you're going to be able to indulge in some drinks as well. So
the address for Pete's Place is 14743. That is 14743 Old Bandera Road. It is Suite 9. Just listen for the music, man. 14743 Old Bandera Road. The drink specials tonight: $3 peach sangria, $4 dulce vida tequila. It's going to be happy hour all day. What does that mean? $2.75 domestic beers and $3.75 well drinks all night long. Just take $20. You'll be fine. I'll be getting there at 6 o'clock. Draft starts at 7. I'll be drinking by 6:01.
Mario Cavazos going to get drunk and belligerent. Go Spurs, go.
What did that one guy say? The Go Spurs.
Nobody shut up. Go Spurs, go.
Nobody shut up. And, you know, this is the fun thing. You know, I had so many different topics that I wanted to talk about today involving pop culture and nostalgia and all that stuff. But really, all that kind of goes out the window.
It is
draft day, dude.
Yeah,
this is a draft blowout show. let's go and get some questions in. JHNSB says Ron Holland over Saloon. Ron Holland played for G League Ignite, and you had his boy Matas Buzelis talking up Holland, saying Holland's a good player. Holland, towards the end of the season, was throwing down 30-point games for the G League Ignite. They kept losing, but still, he had some pretty good numbers. He was a 5-star recruit. Went to the G League instead.
I look at Sam Salinas. I like this whole show being draft talk. We got to, man. We're a couple of hours away from the NBA draft.
It wasn't going to be until the Rockets started being nasty and started pulling off trades, man. The Rockets right now are in talks to potentially make a run at Kevin Durant.
Ruin everything for everybody.
They hold Phoenix's 25 pick, 27, and 29 pick, which is what Phoenix sent to Brooklyn as part of the Kevin Durant trade. Houston went and traded with Brooklyn to get those 3 picks, and now they can dangle it over the head of the Phoenix Suns and say, "We got your 3 picks over here. We'll throw some more in there, or maybe we'll give you Alperen Şengün." And if that happens, there's a need for center at number 3. Rockets go get a center. Maybe the Rockets go get Alex Sarr. Maybe they go get Donovan Clingan. And at that point, Reed Shepherd, who every mock draft says, every single one, it doesn't matter if it's Bleacher Report, USA Today, NBC Sports, ESPN, The Ringer, who doesn't matter. They all say that if the Rockets are there at 3, holding on to that spot and not making any moves, they're going to take Reed Shepherd. That's their guy.
That's not a bad pick.
But if they trade Şengün, then Reed Shepherd is not their guy. They go after a center. It makes sense. Sam Salinas reaches out and says, "I'm thinking that Houston is doing us a favor and will cause Shepherd to fall. Someone is moving up for Clingan," he says. Mario Cavasso is also asking the question, talk about the pros, ifs, and cons of Bronny James. Most of the mock drafts have Bronny James going in the second round to the LA Lakers. I feel bad for the guy in some respect because he has that last name James, but he's not built like dad.
Yeah.
LeBron James, 6'9", built like a tank. Bronny James, 6'2", 6'3", built like a point guard.
Yeah.
Bronny averaged less than 5 points per game at USC. He had cardiac arrest, missed a lot of time. But the upside is that when they worked him out and he showed up at the combine, guess what happened at the combine? He didn't wet the bed. He actually did very well.
He did very well. He impressed a lot of scouts, a lot of teams out there.
Yeah, so much so that the Phoenix Suns have said that they're looking at him, kicking the tires, maybe the 76ers with a second-round pick. More than likely, it's going to be the Lakers, although you could probably fleece the Lakers if you pretend that you're going to go after Bronny.
Shake the tree a little bit.
Shake the tree a little bit. I mean, the guy, he's a good player, cerebral player, but he is so unprepared for now. So unprepared for now. So someone asked a question, who do you think the Spurs are going to take at 35? Someone from France? No, it's interesting because when you look at the draft right now, there are a lot of players that the Spurs have worked out. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's going to be who the Spurs worked out. And there's a website called hoopshype.com.
Yeah.
And it has a tracker of every single team, the players that they worked out. So I'm going to go find the Spurs real quick, right? And see who did they work out. And it also ranks them based on, the big board type of thing, right? So San Antonio Spurs have worked out the following players: Zachary Rees-Archet, Reed Shepherd, Stephon Castle, Matas Buzelis, Dalton Connect, Tijani Saloon, Devin Carter, Ron Holland, Rob Dillingham, Jacoby Walter, Carlton Carrington, and Nikola Topic. Okay, Donovan Clingan is not one of them, Joe.
Yeah, not one of them. But
not one of them.
Just because he's not, you haven't heard about him doesn't mean the Spurs aren't thinking.
Right. I mean, I'm sure they've gone to his games and all that stuff. So if you're asking who the Spurs are going to get at 35, well, let's see who they've worked out down the road. Isaiah Collier, who a lot of people thought was a top 15 player going into this past season, is falling in a lot of mock drafts, and some big boards have him in the late 20s. Can he fall to 35? Point guard out of USC, who was a 5-star guy out of high school? Why not? Jamal Sheed, if I had to put any money down on the Spurs going after somebody, I would say Jamal Sheed out of Houston who played 4 seasons as point guard over there at Houston. I'm going to call up his stats.
Well, apparently we have some breaking news from Jefe here. He went ahead and shared with us. I believe that was earlier today, actually at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and share that.
Oh yeah, bring it
with you guys. But I got to play the jingle. So breaking news from the Jefe himself, man.
What does it say?
He went ahead and he just tweeted this out about 10 minutes ago. He says, Spurs Victor Wembanyama has been nominated for Best Breakthrough Athlete for an ESPY Award.
ESPY Awards. Very nice. Very nice. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt that he gets it. He's an international star.
Oh, yeah.
Rookie of the Year, was second in a Defensive Player of the Year, was an All-NBA Defensive First Team. Wemby is a star. And that's the thing about the Spurs right now, is that they know that they have a star there. It's just, are they going to punt on year 2? They punted year 1. And I don't think I could ever forgive the Spurs for that. That whole thing about Sohan playing point. They punted on his first year. At the end of this upcoming season, we'll be halfway through his first contract. And if they punt again, they have to have Wemby buy into the fact that 2025 is the year that they make moves. Because that's the year where free agents are available, the good ones. That's the year when you have a stellar draft available.
Yeah.
And the Spurs not only have their own pick, but they also have Chicago's top 10 protected, Atlanta's unprotected pick, and Charlotte's 14 protected. Spurs more than likely will have 2 picks in the 2025 draft, chance of a third one, because Chicago right now seems to be on a fire sale. We're talking about Jamal Sheed of the Houston Cougars, 6-foot guard, played 4 seasons for them, 13 points per game, 6 assists. It's a floor general, dude. A little Avery Johnson type of player. But going through the list of other players that the Spurs have worked out, Antonio Reeves of Kentucky. They like Kentucky guys, man. Other names that might be interested here, Enrique Freeman of Akron, Antonio Reeves, I mentioned, out of Kentucky, Jay Mitchell out of UC Santa Barbara, Dylan Jones, that's a name right there. He was good, man, for Weber State. I bet you the second round is going to be somebody that they've done there, that they've actually brought in. Can they bring in a Donovan Clingan, even though they didn't work him out? Maybe they didn't think he'd be available.
But I'm sure they have, like, all these executives, right?
They have a big board.
They have a big board. They have tons of paperwork and, all this stuff in front of them. If they know, okay, man, these are the guys that are there at this spot still. Who do we really want? Who was our first pick? Who's our second, third, fourth pick, Or sometimes, you might have a player that you didn't even have on your board because you thought he was going to go. And he just falls to that 4th spot. That just changes everything right there.
And we asked the question yesterday and the day before, will the Spurs do a draft day trade? A big one? I mean, I don't care if they trade the 8 for a future first round.
Yeah.
I don't care. But will they do a big one this year? And the answer is no.
I don't think so either, because what's the incentive for them to do so? If you look at what's going to happen next season, that's when you do it.
Mikal Bridges goes off the board.
Yeah.
Traded from the Nets to the Knicks in exchange for 5 first rounders. The Spurs aren't going to offer 5 or 6 first rounders.
Sorry, had the video still loaded up.
The Spurs aren't going to offer 5 or 6 or 7 first rounders for a player. It would be stupid for them to do so. I've wanted them to do something for the longest time, but kind of like Jerry Jones, man. You know how Jerry Jones waits till the last minute to pay his players? The Spurs now know what the market is, cap-wise or pick-wise, for a good player. And it's too rich.
It's going to be really rich. You've seen what happened with this latest fiasco with the Nets and the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. And this is for a player that's not even a bona fide superstar, right? This is going to be like your second tier, not your first tier player. Now, to get a first tier player, that asking price right now, because of what has happened, has gone way up, and the Spurs, unfortunately, I just don't think they're going to be able to get who they want to get for this team's for the future, unless they're going to be able to package some players and some picks together in order to go ahead and solidify that,
Yeah, if you want the picks, you're going to have to add some good players in there.
Man.
You're going to have to add a Devin Vassell. You're going to have to add
Keldon
a
Johnson.
Keldon or a Jeremy Sohan. Yeah. There are reports out there that OG Anunoby might be staying put.
I saw that. Yeah.
So you look at things like that, and the big players that were available in free agency are staying put. LeBron's going to stay put. There's chances are the reports are he's going to opt out of his deal, re-sign for 3 years to the Lakers so he can hang out with JJ Redick and they can keep doing their podcast. Still do that stuff.
Haiti says, how would they work out Topic if he's hurt? The thing is, you don't work him out.
Well, they worked him out before his injury.
Yeah, but I'm saying after his injury, now that he's hurt, he can't.
Dude, it's all going to be about the Woj bombs and the Shams Charania bombs today, man. I'm excited about it all.
Some deals are going to be had. I think something's going to happen. A shakeup will happen in the top 5.
Now, do you okay? Are you team Woj or team Shams?
Man, I like Woj only because Woj has been that guy. But I got to tell you, man, I like Shams, bro. I like his style. Look at the guy, man. He's very stylish, man. You look at Shams and Woj.
Does he
Shams is your young guy, dude.
Shams is the young guy, man, but Woj gets him, man.
Yeah, he's the more seasoned of the two, and he has most of the contacts, But Shams is up and coming. I think at some point what's going to happen is Shams will overtake Woj. But for right now, Woj is king, dude.
Mark Stein of the Stein line, formerly of Yahoo, saying that there's a trade potentially going on between the Detroit Pistons and the Dallas Mavericks that would send Tim Hardaway Jr. to Detroit. They're trying to work it out. That's interesting, man.
A lot of people are over here in the chat, and they're like, Woj is their guy. They said JH and NSB says Shams is gentrified. Shams is learning. He's learning from Woj. But you know what? The cool thing,
he literally was. He was like his intern,
his protege. But the funny thing is that like the Pat McAfee show, right?
Yeah,
they get Woj. I believe they've had him on there, but it seems like they have Shams on there a lot more than they do Woj, going along with that younger demographic.
So who are the Ilaria Hawks? It's a basketball team. Where are they from? Is that from like it's from Australia? Okay. So Yahoo Sports, someone asked who the Spurs would get at 35. NBC Sports says
it was Tim Gonzalez.
AJ Johnson from the Australian Ilaria Hawks going to the Spurs at 35. That's the recommendation there. Now the Spurs do have a pick at number 48 that belonged originally to Memphis, and then it went to the Lakers, and the Lakers traded to the Spurs. Saying that the Spurs would get Ulrich Kamachi from the NBA Academy out of Africa.
That sounds like a drafted stash, man.
All of this is, man. Bronny James, though.
What if Bronny's there at 35? Do you pull the trigger?
At 48.
Why not? At 35, I'm saying if Bronny's there, are the Spurs going to pull the trigger on Bronny James?
Yeah, Sam reaches out to us, get Bronny at 48 just to stick it to LA. Say, you know what? Trade us 2 second-rounders. We'll give you this one.
Give him back to you.
We'll give him right back.
Hey, but if LeBron keeps to his word, he's like, I want to play with Bronny before he retires.
Now,
right?
Jesse A says, Shams has Kay Adams. If he has her, then Shams all day. Kay Adams, dude. Did you see that whole part where they were kind of flirting with each other on air?
Oh, bro, I saw that. She is really big into Woj. Not Woj, but Shams.
Oh, yeah.
She was shooting her shot, dude. He was blushing. He was blushing.
He was. And I think he's taken, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe that's why he's blushing. He's like, oh, damn, they're doing this to me on air, man.
We got to show that, man. This was on Up and Adams. This was the time that she's a nugget, dude. Absolute nugget. But here's the thing. She is significantly older.
Look at Shams. Why are you smiling before they even asked you anything, brother?
You're blushing already.
Yeah. Look at him.
Charania right now. I'm looking up his age. He's 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
So he was probably 28, 29 when this happened, right? Kay Adams is 10 years older than him. 10 years older than him. But they were saying that he brought the Riz. He didn't bring any Riz whatsoever. Kay Adams was straight out just flirting with him. It wasn't anything that Shams did. Shams just showed up and sat in the chair. She took his
Look at how she's looking at him. She's looking at him like a lioness looking at her prey, man, about to pounce, bro. She knows what she wants. And look at Shams. He's just playing.
Shams.
Why is he smiling? Why are you smiling?
Forgetting what he's going to say about the Knicks. JHNSB says Woj would have bagged it. Shams fumbled. I mean, this was an absolute layup.
Oh, DA Shams was simping. Oh my God, bro.
So why was he the Riz God? What Riz is he doing right here other than K Adams?
This was back in the day, dude. He's grown up a little bit since then. But you're putting Shams and Adrian Wojnarowski. Adrian Wojnarowski, no doubt, he has the tenure and everything. Everybody looks to him as the aficionado when it comes to breaking news. Shams is right there on his heels, and he still has a lot to learn before he gets to that level. But I mean, if you're comparing the age demographic here, Shams going to go ahead and bring in the younger demographic. I'm sure he's popular with the ladies, man.
Here's the question right here. She asked, "What is the Riz God?" Is what K Adams asked.
I don't know.
I tweets
no, mames, come on, bro.
Dude, for her to address it and go,
why is he smiling? Look at that.
She embarrassed him. She's poking at him because she knows she's got it going on.
She's cute, bro.
Shams is the Riz God. She's effing with him. She's absolutely effing with him.
Come on,
Mario
Shams.
saying that K Adams wanted to hawk Tua. I don't know, man. As much as I like Shams, dude, I don't think Shams would have survived.
Oh,
I think you describing her as a lioness.
The lioness
is 100% legit, dude.
She's looking at that prey, bro. She's ready to pounce on him.
All right, so if you are Shams Charania, right?
Yeah.
And you have a phone call coming in from Brian Wright, or you have a phone call coming in from K Adams, which one do you take?
Oh man, K Adams, bro. Look at Brian Wright. And I'm like, nah, bro, we good.
You ain't doing anything.
We good. You ain't doing a damn thing, bro.
The Ringers' final mock draft, leading into tonight's draft, assuming no trades are made. Zachary Sarche, number 1 to Atlanta. Alex Sarr to the French center to the Washington Wizards. Reed Shepherd, the guard, going to the Rockets.
That's the intriguing one, right? If the Rockets wind up doing something, Shepherd could fall to 4. If he's at 4 and the Spurs are making that pick, what are you going to do?
And the Ringer saying at number 4. I like the Ringer, man.
I do. I like
the zealous. Surprise at 4.
Hey,
Dalton Connect to Tennessee
it.
Going 5. Stephon Castle going 6 to Charlotte. Donovan Clingan falling to 7. The Spurs could be there and say, look, man, if you want Clingan, that is the move for the Spurs to make right there. If the Spurs are sitting there at 4 and they know that people want him, just say, hey, we'll take him. Play a game of chicken. Because you know what? If you get Clingan and no one wants to trade you for him, you got Clingan. That's fine. You got a 7'2" monster down there who has comparisons to Marc Gasol and comparisons to the defensive player of the year from this past year.
Man, that would be amazing to see that the return of the Twin Towers on the court.
Right. A Rudy Gobert, Marc Gasol mix, right? You have that. And then you say, if you want him, come up. If you want to go from 7 to 4, if you want to go from 6 to 4, fine. Flip us a first rounder in a future year, 2029, 2031, in a year where you guys who are making these decisions might not even be on the team anymore because you would be fired as GM or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want him so bad, let us slide down 2 or 3 spots. Now, at number 8, they have the Spurs taking Devin Carter out of Providence and Saloon going 9 to the Grizzlies and 10, Ron Holland. And they show our guy, Nikola Topic, dropping to 14 and Dilly dropping to 15. Dilly.
Spurs fans are enamored with Rob Dillingham, should I say. They really like the kid, man.
D-Lo, she's gorgeous. What I want to know is, had anyone ever seen her before?
I don't think so.
Are you guys familiar with the whole thing? Because there was a time when he had his phone out, and you know that Adam Schefter and Shams and Woj, they live on their phone, right? And she took his phone, and he got so uncomfortable because the phone was not in his hand, and she kind of flirted with him while holding the phone, and he was flustered. Kay Adams on FanDuel.
I saw that
nugget.
If you haven't watched FanDuel TV, it's available. You can go ahead and check it out. I believe they even have an app for it on the phone, but you can actually, watch it online and whatnot for free.
Sam Salinas asking the question, yeah, but how long before Wemby and Klingon complement each other? Robinson and Duncan were out of the gate. I think they had defined roles. I mean, Robinson came in, he knew he was center. Duncan knew he was power forward. When it comes to Wemby and a Klingon combination, do they have to be a power forward or a center at that point? Can't they just be twin towers for crying out loud?
I like this, man. Mario Cavazos, because Matisse Bucelas, he said his nickname will be Matalo. Matalo. Put it on the shirts, man. Speaking of shirts, dude, you can go ahead and check out what we got going on here in the merch store. We just, like I said, we have a new store that just opened up where you can go and check it out and get all the good shirts, the designs that we have for the Alamo City Sportscast and whatnot. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, I'll see if I can bring it up for us right here. I'm just going to go ahead and bring up the URL so we can go ahead and shamelessly plug our new online merch store. Me and Mike got to go ahead and get on the ball here.
I like the basic one, man, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the basic one, but I got to satisfy all the fans. So this is the one that I like. I like this logo. It's just nice, clean, easy to read. And we have other stuff in here. We got the retro all-star one, Keldon Johnson, Wemby 2.0.
Is it egotistical that I think that the shirt should have on one side Michael Jimenez or Mike Jimenez and the other one Joe Garcia?
You could. We could do that. One-offs just for me and you. Yeah, but you get the shirts there. We have some designs. New designs will be coming. And I do have some alien-inspired, let's say, designs that have come out in lieu of Wemby, right? To honor the Wemby, the alien. And they're a little different, man. They're more on the cutesy side of things. So people will like them. They're more of a chibi style. So I'll put those out probably later on today if I have time. But if you want to go ahead and check out our wares and you want to go ahead and order something, I'm going to go ahead and put the URL in the chat so you boys can go out there and help us out and, give us some love here, as they say, because, when you go ahead and you buy any merch from the store, it does help the show grow. So just went ahead and added the URL to the chat.
Mario Cavazos is asking if we could make a shirt that says Alamo City Necios.
We could. I wonder what that would look like.
The Necios edition.
The Necios edition, yeah. So we could get that done.
Hey, if you want to hang out with us tonight, we're going to be at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes, celebrating the 2024 NBA draft, figuring out who the Spurs get at 4 or 8. This is a look of Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. This is, I don't know, about 2.5 miles outside of the loop, I would say. It's by Flores Country Store. Just keep going down. It's maybe about half mile past Flores, maybe a quarter mile past Flores. We're going to be out here by the TVs out there in the back. Again, there's an outdoor and indoor area, but we'll be out here watching it. We have it reserved for the Alamo City Sportscast. Again, it's going to be happy hour all night long. That's a sale on domestic, sale on well drinks. Sangria is going to be on sale. You're going to have a certain type of tequila on sale as well. Come check us out. Come hang out. We have more than 25 people who have RSVP'd and about 20 people who've reached out to me and said that they'd like to go. So if they go and if everybody shows up, it's going to be like a little wedding reception out there, man. It's going to be a lot going on. I'll be getting there at 6 o'clock along with Joe. The draft starts at 7. Kids are allowed outside until 9 p.m. After 9 p.m., it's 21 and older.
Yeah, check this out. Somebody was asking, how do they ask the Magic 8 Ball a question? I just put that in the chat right now. All you got to do is just put exclamation point 8 Ball space, ask the question. And there you go, man. You'll be off to the races.
Very cool, man.
So just ask the 8 Ball a question. It'll answer. Somebody had already put in here too. They asked the Magic 8 Ball, will Mike get arrested tonight?
No, because I'm actually going to take Uber.
And they put, are you joking?
No Justin Timberlake today.
No, not for me either. I'm probably going to wind up getting dropped off.
Okay, so before we leave, good article here. CBS Sports says 2024 NBA draft, 5 teams most likely to make trades as class adds plenty of uncertainty. The class being not the strongest draft class. They have the number 1 team to make a trade. Would be the Houston Rockets. They've already made a trade. They picked up the 25, 27, and 29 first-round draft picks that belonged to the Phoenix Suns that was originally part of the trade with the Brooklyn Nets. They picked that up. And talking about how they have trade assets there. They've got Alperen Sengun, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson. If they want to make a move, they have not only the draft capital, but they have the young players there to do it. I doubt they would send Fred VanVleet anywhere. Another team that might make a move, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sam Presti's always working, man. He's always working the phones. They've got as Joe likes to use this word, a plethora of draft capital, first rounders along the way. Memphis Grizzlies considered to be the third most likely team to make a move. The Spurs, according to CBS Sports, the fourth most likely team to make a move tonight. I'm going to read it. Quote, Spurs are somewhat in a similar position to the Thunder, albeit without quite as much talent on the roster. No crap. They have the assets to go get anybody they want. The immediate difference is that they have 2 top 8 picks. The Thunder have none. If Oklahoma City wants to take a longer-term prospect that won't play all next season, that's viable. But the Spurs, they probably need to make a step of some sort, and that could mean a number of things. Could they offer those picks for the right veteran? Sure. Could they package to move up to the number 1 overall pick? Very possible. Says the Spurs have the cap space to make almost any deal viable. And aside from Wemby and Devin Vassell, they don't have the core players that they are committed to. Wait a minute, Joe. CBS Sports.
Did they do an update?
CBS Sports, Sam Quinn. I've been reading Sam Quinn for years. By the way, the 5th team is the Phoenix Suns. CBS Sports says the Spurs are only committed to 2 players.
Who are they?
Wemby and Vassell.
No.
They paid Vassell. He's making $29 million this year.
Wemby.
And Wemby is the generational talent.
Yeah.
It's funny. Spurs fans don't see that, man. Spurs fans are like, nah, man, we got the core of Trey Jones and Keldon and Sohan and Champagny. We love Mamu and all these guys. The Spurs have 2 players on the team that they give 2 craps about. Wemby, Vassell. Everybody else is just dudes.
If you run this team back again, what's going to happen? The same result again. Same result, dude. Come on.
JHNSB, trade that Poland bum.
Can you imagine wearing that shirt?
Oh my God. You know what?
Wear that shirt.
If the Spurs got rid of Sohan, I would want a shirt created that said, I hated Wemby. I hated Wemby. I hated Sohan before it was cool.
We have a question here by Hanover Fist. He was asking, what time does the NBA draft start tonight?
The broadcast starts at 7.
It's 7 p.m. our time, which is going to be Central Time. On the East Coast, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Right. So the NBA draft, again, we're going to be partying over at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes. I wish it was more centralized, to be honest with you. But the fact of the matter is that it's a great location, dude.
Yeah.
It's a combination. Here's what we need. The Venn diagram of, we needed a cool place, man. I mean, a happening place. We needed a place that had cheap drinks, and I knew that Wednesdays was, all day, all night happy hour over there.
There you go.
You needed a place to have an outdoor setting and an indoor setting. You needed a place that had the ability to have kids there until a certain hour. It was the perfect storm. Unfortunately, we're in Helotes as opposed to sometimes something more centralized, but you know what? Screw it.
Yeah,
have fun.
I'm thinking for Thursday night football, we're going to have to round up the troops and get together when it starts, when NFL season starts. 151 Saloon right here off of 151, Highway 151. Thursdays, they have 151, you call it.
Nice.
So you could get your diet and Jack,
there you go.
151. And they make pretty good drinks, and the beer. I believe the Lone Star Lights and all that, they're like 151.
I have a tall tale about the 151 Saloon that I'm not going to get into,
God.
and I don't think I'll ever.
You'll have to say that off record.
You know what? Tonight, flag me down about it. It's a Demon Mike 151
God.
Saloon story. It's crazy when I mention it. I can't do it on the show, though.
Yeah, no, I had a moment there at 151 one time when I went with my boys. We went to the Thursday night, game. And they had a cover that night because they were going to have a band playing on stage. And we know the girls there, right? So as we're walking in, it's like a $10 cover. The girl looked at me and my boys and she's like, y'all good. You can just go on in. Like, man, thanks, man. Night got better. I went up to the bar, right? And we know the bartender's there, right? And one of them, it was her birthday. So it was like, oh, man, it's happy birthday. We're all giving her money and stuff. She was our bartender that night. So at the end of the night, I go to pay the bar tab, and she's like, "You good?" I was like, "Damn, man! Like I didn't pay for nothing that night. I like nights like that, Mike."
Dude, I went to the Pete's place last week. I went there for a couple of beers. They were both given to me for free
Yeah,
because Corona was there.
the Corona girls.
The
Yeah,
Corona girls was there. They gave me a beer bomb, I think is what they called it. And then they gave me an actual bottle.
oh, nice, dude. Little keepsake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Looking forward to making new memories out here with the peeps tonight over at Pete's Place. Make sure you go out and join us. Like Mike said, we went ahead and sent the address already. We're going to go ahead and retweet that after the show today. We'll be there around 6 o'clock. So, if you're the first 2 or 3 people that show up, come up to us and say hi, buy you a beer.
Very cool. Very cool. See you guys tonight. Again, it is draft night here in San Antonio, Pete's Place, Old Town Helotes. My name is Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. Thank you to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and KENS 5. Bringing the eyes, man. His content's amazing. His podcast itself is blowing up, more than 4,500 subscribers. We are now at 934.
Yeah, we picked up one during the show too. We're at 935. We got Sith and we got Memo. We got a new one.
Can we get to 950 by the end of the night? Because again, we wanted to get to 950 by the end of the month. So this is incumbent upon you guys to go out and kiss babies and shake hands and things like that.
Spread the word.
Spread the word over at the bar that we're going to be at tonight. Yeah, we're at 935. That's amazing, dude.
Wow. We're about 15 away from our goal for the month.
But the ultimate goal is to get to 1,000.
It gets to 1,000, but I like to meet the goals that I set.
The snowball effect once we get to 1,000, because we get featured on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, you can go on YouTube and search us out. But once you get to 1,000, it becomes a deal. You become featured. And if you look at the number of people who've been watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter,
up.
Because now you have to add up all the numbers, right? Like the website, you have to add up all the numbers. Joe, tell them about the website. How if you can't watch us, you can listen to us.
Yeah, we have new technology. So now we're live streaming the audio from the show. As we're doing it live here, the audio is live on the website. So all you have to do is go to the Alamo City Sportscast Network website, and you can check us out there, and you can stream the audios from a cell phone. If you're at work and you're working on your computer, I mean, you can go ahead and just stream the show there.
But
I mean,
they like seeing our scruffy faces, Joe.
Oh yeah, they like seeing our scruffy faces. But I'm saying you can go there and you can go ahead and just stream everything. The audio, and it's a good time, man. We did this because we knew that not everybody is going to be able to watch us video wise. Like Christopher Lejas sometimes is busy laying down concrete and he wants to listen to us. Maybe he's got earbuds on. Just go ahead and just break out the phone, hit play on the website. You're streaming the audio.
We're going to be at Pete's Place in Old Town Helotes tonight, and then tomorrow, all the reaction from tonight's draft. Cannot wait for tonight. Cannot wait for tomorrow's show. My name is Mike. That is Joe. Thanks, Jeff, and thank you to MCS General Contracting. We will be back tomorrow, but come hang out with us tonight, 6 p.m., Pete's Place.
Thanks for the recommendation, JHNSB. I have been looking into this. Look into the text-to-speech donation links via Streamlabs. You all make a lot of money that way. Yeah, I have some capabilities with Streamlabs, as you all have been seeing, using Stream Elements as well to bring in more interaction with you guys. So,
thank you for the super chat as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Had earlier today. We'll see you guys tonight. Everyone have a good day.
All right, see ya.